Hey guys, so welcome to the Stills and Motion podcast, a creative business podcast for photographers and filmmakers. So I decided to kind of start this podcast to provide like a valuable and informative resource for people who are wanting to turn the thing they love into their business, whether that's photography, filmmaking, or, it could be anything. Most of us kind of start out with this like creative passion first. It's like the thing we love to do, the thing we get excited about. As things begin to progress, you start to think about like, how could I turn this thing that I love doing anyway into something that makes me money and could be potentially be a full-time job. But like at that point, it's kind of daunting. Like, where do you start? Like, how do you find work? How do you monetize this thing that you enjoy? Like, how do you charge people for what you're already doing for free for yourself? Like, there's so many unknowns and there's so many questions at the beginning, and it can be kind of overwhelming. About 3 years ago, I started to work as a photographer. I picked up a camera about 5 years ago and absolutely loved it. I just loved going out and taking photos of what I was doing and documenting like my friends and what we were up to. I'd never really had like a creative outlet before, and like I was rubbish at art at school, but like this was like the first thing that I could be creative and I enjoyed, and like I found such a great satisfaction out of it. And I remember that the first time a big client reached out to me to do some work for them, I had absolutely no idea how it worked, like no idea what to charge, and like no idea how I was going to make this thing they wanted me to do happen. There were so many unknowns and it was pretty daunting, but I just kept on saying yes to those things that turned up and sort of figured it out on the way. And like, I'm not going to say that it was easy because it wasn't at all, but slowly through sort of conversations with others and like trial and error of seeing like how things work, I began to kind of figure things out a little bit, like how to price my work, like how to present myself to clients, like how to write like a contract, how to make your website kind of appealing and showcase your work and all these things. But like I'm still, in the infancy of my business and I still have so much to learn. But I think like business is kind of like a taboo topic in this industry. Like we kind of are scared about talking about it and people are quite closed off, and it's hard to sometimes get the advice that you need. But it's obviously so important to what we do. Like half of running a creative business is running a business. Like you obviously have to have that passion and creativity, but you need to know how to turn that into something that can sustain you, sustain your family, and like, make an impact. And I'm by no means an expert, and like I'm very much at the beginning of my business, but I wanted to make this podcast to kind of be a resource for all of us. Like I want it to be a space where we can have conversations about creative business and help others out there make their first steps into turning their passion into their business, or for those of us like me who kind of are starting running a business or maybe a bit further in, and they need some help and advice to help it make it even better and stronger. Like 2020 has kind of been like a wild year for a lot of us, and I think more than ever we need like these transparent and honest conversations about what it is actually like to run a creative business and how you can do it successfully. So I hope you enjoy the podcast. I think there's going to be a lot of valuable sort of tips and tricks that you can learn from these conversations with photographers and filmmakers. And there's already, like, I've recorded a couple so far and already feel like I've learned so much and it's been super eye-opening. So I hope that you all get a lot of value out of this, and yeah, I'll see you out there. Enjoy the podcast. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube if you want to watch the video version, or if you want to listen to the audio only, you can find us on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. But yeah, thank you very much and enjoy.